Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 200 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by Cameron.
Hello.
And Kiyo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah, it's our 200 extravaganza, for which we're not doing anything. It's just the number, guys. Plus, it's definitely not 200 because we've definitely done specials on other bits and pieces. But we're working on a couple of small things in the background that haven't quite eventuated yet. But yes, in sort of celebration of our 200th episode. Oh fuck, I'll talk about it. Yeah.
Don't we always celebrate like 201? Wasn't that a thing at one point?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's one of the off years. We'll do like 207 or something. By the time we get everything done.
Look, I'm just waiting for us to record LCAs for what is it? Fallout episode 6,
7, and 8. Yeah. I'm not naming any names, but there's certain people on this call might not have watched the episodes yet. Just putting that out there.
There are very few things that I get to do with my wife.
You could just stop the sentence there. You could just stop the sentence there. I think that's, what, I think we all understand. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is a place to find us. So come say hi, hang out, usual business. Thank you all for being here. We do have a community question this week from Red Ninja Dan, who says, as I wait to see Iron Lung on Monday, what are your guys' go-to cinema snacks? Mine is a large Pepsi and nachos or sweet and salty popcorn. That's a good choice. Iron Lung is one of those movies I do actually want to go see. There's been a lot of fun controversy around it lately, apparently being taken off the charts. But apparently it's like second highest grossing movie of the week or whatever, or it's doing like pretty well.
Yeah, it was like 17 million.
Yeah,
domestic US, I think it was.
Yeah,
no, actually,
I do want to say it, but I can't be bothered driving 2 hours out of town to go to a cinema to find it.
Well, yeah, my answer to the question was usually trying to smuggle myself into the movie theater because the tickets are so fucking expensive these days.
Surely there's a tasty reference in there somewhere.
Somewhere. But yeah, we had a few responses. There was talk about Mars Pods being a good one. I don't know. Do you guys? It's been a little while since I've been to the cinema. I went and saw what was it? I went and saw the new Knives Out movie. Went and saw that in theaters, and it was pretty good. But it was like a really small theater when I was down in Wellington.
The last thing that I attempted to watch was Stitch, which I know you guys know. Halfway through.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't think I've been back to the cinema since, and I think previous to that was Gold Class going to see Spider-Man No Way... is it No Way Home?
No Way Home, the latest one, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
God, I remember the last gold... I remember I had Gold Class tickets or whatever, and I...
Actually, I have Gold Class tickets from Christmas I've got to spend, so...
What are you going to watch?
Silent Hill, I think, actually.
The new one? Silent Hill 2?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're going to use your Gold Class on. Okay.
At
least you focus on having a good dining experience. That's...
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, the food's usually pretty good.
Well, I mean, I didn't even know if that's going to end up in Gold Class. But,
true. Yeah, there is
we're just it's only going to be trashy horror movies anyway. So, might as well make it Silent Hill. So,
I saw the trailer for Exit 8 before, and it looked really, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, a relatively simple concept, but there's, sure they can do quite a bit with it. I'm definitely keen to check it out. I'm in the kind of lower budget, kind of just take an interesting concept from a smaller game and spin it out a bit, rather than just the big blockbuster stuff like your Monster Hunters and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Back to the snacks. Pods is a good show. I reckon I'd really probably just settle with the little ice cream.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, it's normally good to have
like a choc top. Yeah,
choc tops. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, although because my dairy intolerance is just getting worse and worse. I have to try and find vegan ones, which feels criminal, but.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Trust me. If anyone knows, I know.
It's worth the stuff.
It's really not. Trust me. As someone who's just been on the other side of it for the last 2 weeks, it's really not.
But then why do you keep going back?
Because I love.
He keeps trying.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was that or if it was something else. It's like, no, it's definitely that because I stopped eating dairy for like a month. This like January, I didn't eating dairy for the most part. Again, not perfect because it's in fucking everything, but
Yeah.
like not.
Man, I feel great.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I actually feel like so much better. I was like, well, I've basically been poisoning myself for several years. But I also found a place that does vegan chocolate shake, which is very, very dangerous because I'm like, now I don't have the excuse not to get one. So I'm like, fuck.
Man, what would be the calories in a vegan?
Oh, don't no. That's that weighs the devil's talk. We ain't discussing that. That's unbelievable.
Oh,
I mean, I'm like a chocolate fiend. Like, so I love chocolate. So it's usually like chocolate ice cream or the movies is basically the only place I eat M&Ms. You know, because it feels like the only environment where you're like, well, I'm sitting in an area where I can put something in my hand and just eat it and like not like. I don't know.
So, how do you feel about the M&Ms like being dumped into the popcorn like some?
Yeah, I think that's criminal. I don't know what you do. Well, okay, I understand that realistically, it all gets mixed up when you eat it anyway, and like I understand that there's like a mix of like salty and sweet. But I'm more on the autism side of keeping my food separate. You know, in terms of like, you know what, like, if I'm gonna eat the popcorn, which again I don't even like popcorn, so I know that's sacrilege. But I'm really not a popcorn person. Kettle corn or like sweet corn, like the not sweet corn, but like the like
like caramel corn.
yeah, caramel corn is what I was thinking of. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like that I can usually get behind. It's usually like the aftertaste or like you get that weird feeling in your mouth. But yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, I just don't like having anything that's too much because I don't want to feel sick from eating a whole bag of chocolate.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know if it's going to be in my hand, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, if it's there and you're not even looking at it, you're watching something, you're not paying attention, you just exactly. Get
Exactly. It's just there's another motor function. And every now and then, like if it's like around lunchtime or something, we'll just like take some sushi in or something. You know, just like we'll eat our food in there while waiting. So.
I was gonna say with that too. Like, I don't understand the people that put the M&Ms into. Like, it's okay having both those snacks at the same time and doing like I love salt and vinegar chips and caramello chocolate. Like, not in terms of movie, but just in terms of like sweet and salty. But it's dangerous. You sit anywhere and you have a large supply of snacks that, you just completely forget.
Oh, it's bad. I used to be really into. Do you guys get Jaffas over there? Jaffas, like orange.
The orange chocolate.
Orange chocolate.
Yeah. I get Cherry's chocolate orange.
Cherry chocolate orange obviously is like another level, but like Jaffas were.
Yep. I have definitely been sick on those, and they are a culprit.
Yeah.
I have been talking about like too much of that orange chocolate is.
Yeah, it's funny because like too much good chocolate will fuck me up, and then too much bad chocolate will also fuck me up. It's trying to find that middle point where I'm like medium chocolate, a medium amount, but scientists haven't invented it yet. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to suffer.
Block of Whitakers are not obsessing over the whole thing all at once.
Oh, that's hard.
They're like $10 a block here now, and
then to be fair, like that's import prices. They're not even that much cheaper here.
I mean, it's like I'm okay with it because it's good quality chocolate.
Yeah,
but I can't be bothered spending. I think the smallest blocks of Cadbury now, which are like tiny, are like $5.
Yeah, and Cadbury's kind of chalky nowadays. It's not, the ingredients aren't all that good.
Yeah, I'd rather spend more on a product that I know they're putting decent stuff into.
Well, it's funny. We talked about Gold Class. What do you guys have heard of Alamo Draft House? I assume, right?
No.
Over in the States?
Yeah, the States. So I went there a few times when I was living in Austin. Again, this was a long time ago, back when it was basically like just a Texas thing. I think they've expanded out to other places now too. But so the whole thing was that like you couldn't use, like they were really strict about like talking in the movie theaters, cell phones in the movie theaters, and they also had like a full kitchen and chefs and everything. Like one of the guys I lived with was a chef for them. And so it was like you would just like you get like proper food, like, again, like kind of what you get in Gold Class, but like somewhere in between. But it was like, you just like write down your little stuff on a paper and someone would come back and grab it and just like suddenly just end up with a whole fucking dinner. And I know some people are like, that's like, what the fuck are you doing? Eat before you go to the movie theater. But I'm also like, I only have so many hours in the day, and there is nothing more that I enjoy than eating and watching something on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's basically the
that's
same
true.
thing. You know, it's like it's. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm right with that.
Okay, this is like very tangent territory, but there's 2 points I want to make with that.
Sure.
Like I only know about that because of Rooster Teeth and them being
Yes, of
master and
course.
all. Like
Yeah.
constantly brought up on the Rooster Teeth podcast. Ever since COVID, during COVID, them having those, I think it was the cinema passes or whatever, and you just paid like monthly and got.
I think it was like AMC or whoever. Yeah, Movie Pass. Movie Pass. Yeah,
So it's that I'm very much of the belief now that cinemas kind of do need to adapt to get with the times because, I mean, you're competing with Netflix and that. You got people that can just watch video on demand at home. If I'm going to go to a cinema, the experience needs to be justifiable for me.
Yeah.
And I really wish in Australia and New Zealand we got more of those experiences that you saw on TikTok where it's them giving you the food that matches the theme of the movie.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, like an experience. Yeah.
I want more catered experience. Like, where else are you going to be able to do? Like, I would love to go and watch The Menu in cinemas.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That kind of stuff is coming out.
I need to watch that movie, actually. I've heard it's really good.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I might just watch that tomorrow. Actually, I'm just gonna
it is really good. Yeah.
But those are the kind of experiences that I do want to go to a cinema now for. Whereas in just like Nikita wants to go and watch, is it Scream 8?
Oh wow, 8?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Is it 8 or 7?
Well, I mean, it wasn't it 6 with the remake?
Yeah, the reboot they did. Yeah,
and then they did the next one and
7?
the next one.
Yeah.
I think it's either 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah.
It's either 6 or 7.
No.
No.
I was intentionally avoiding it. I was
No.
But like Nikita's a massive horror movie fan.
Sure.
And I don't think I've ever watched the Scream movies.
Okay, you got a lot to catch up on then. Like
I'm just gonna watch this movie and I'm just gonna trade it.
Oh my god, this is why we can never go to the movie theater together, Cameron. That just absolutely drives me insane. Like, I'm not saying you have to watch the entire MCU before you go see the next Avengers, but like, you know,
a lot of films feel like that these days, though, that you need to watch all these other source material.
I mean, a sequel, yeah, that's how sequels work, is they're usually a continuation of an original movie. It's not like you can go into Avatar 3 and understand from Avatar 2 and 1.
I'm doing it to support my partner. I want more original films. This is the other reason I don't go to cinemas anymore, because there's like, I would go to the cinemas for something like The Menu.
Sure.
It's like a concept like that really intrigues me. There's not any movies that have come out that I can.
Okay, so if you went to Avatar, Fire and Ash, and then what food would you expect?
See, I can't. I watched.
He hasn't
Avatar.
seen it, so he doesn't know.
I've watched the original Avatar, but I haven't watched the.
If you think thematically based just on what you think the movie is about, Fire and Ash, what would you expect?
Well, I don't know.
Like smoked blue.
I would imagine
blue Avatar creatures.
Sushi off a woman who's been painted blue, I guess. You just kind of, you know, that's kind of the thing they go for.
Let's go with a movie that I know, right? Something like The Menu, or what are the other experience? Like, I've seen Shrek and that be done.
Oh yeah,
like
okay.
The movie needs to have like a few feud elements to justify it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it really depends on the movie. Like,
but I also feel like it's one of those things, like the experience would be so distracting from the movie itself that it would have to almost be the second time you've seen that movie. You know? Because I don't know. I'm just thinking about like movies that I like really, really enjoyed that like went to movie theaters to watch, like Oppenheimer, for example. Like that was one, like basically anything Nolan does, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's like I wouldn't necessarily want to like have some sort of other sideshow distracting me from what is one of my favorite filmmakers. But if it was something less, not less interesting, but like less maybe intensive or less like, yeah, I don't know, more casual.
But the thing is, I don't know how they do it in the. Like, I don't know how they do it other than the fact of like, hey, we went and saw this movie and they brought out snacks and these are the snacks. Like, these influencers are strictly doing it, like looking at the food aspect of it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Whereas I would imagine it would be a very like the wait staff aren't interrupting you. They bring like the plate just appears in front of you.
Yeah, sure. Just like gold class and that sort of stuff. For sure. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and do you bring out the food when the food's being served in the menu, or do you bring it out afterwards?
Well, I think that's what they do though. They specifically go, all right, well, this is this part of the movie. We need to bring out this on tray. Like it'd be just free dishes throughout the span of
Sure. Yeah,
90,
that's fair. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
which is the exact same you're going to probably get at a what's the word?
Like Alamo Draft House or Gold Class or that sort of stuff, right? They usually bring in certain timing.
Like tasting menu, tasting
sure
experiences. I don't think it would be the it would depend on what it is, but you might not be getting a full dining experience that you get going out to a proper restaurant, but having that kind of stuff where it's bite sized and it fits in with the theme of the movie would still be cool. I'm just saying, like, I feel like cinemas are at a point where they need to start adapting to new ideas. Otherwise, it's going to be like it's the same as Blockbuster, right?
Sort of, yeah.
It's like they didn't
convenience
adapt.
wins out at the end of the day, yeah, for sure. For 90% of the people.
Yeah.
But then, like, cinemas just become like art house, which is kind of okay too. But
I was gonna say it's edging on like a matinee kind of
for sure
thing.
But it's one of
an
those things
actual
that
movie
becomes that much of an art house of like.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of like drive-ins. I think there's 2 left in my state, and they're both Melbourne.
Yeah, like driving movie. Yeah, I went to one when I was in the States. But like, yeah, they don't have any of them here either. So it's a good point. It's just kind of a niche experience. Anyway,
it's one of those things that's more done out of like I was talking. So to fill you in my day, I just went and visited a whole bunch of random towns that I probably haven't seen in 10 years that are like an hour to 2 hours away from me. And along this op shop trail, there is also all the silo art and all that. And I was experiencing that as I went along. And I went out as far out as Donald, which is about 2 hours away from me. And I was just talking to the guys in there, and they were just in their 60s, and they just do it as a like labor of love. And part of it is a shop for all the locals in town, about 1,000 people. So they all share that space, so they can still run a physical brick and mortar.
Right. Okay.
Store. And then the other half of the shop is a museum.
Oh, okay.
So you've got those small businesses in tiny towns that can still kind of, and they're just 100% honest. They're just like, we don't bring enough money. Like, if I was working on this trying to sustain an income, like,
it wouldn't make
it. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, we have a antique store off the side of a cafe here as well, so stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the question, Dan. Let's keep on trucking. We got a bit of... Yes, Cameron?
I was just going to say, Kirby, you go for the large.
Yeah, obviously, yes. We obviously have a bit of a history with popcorn. You either get the small or the large. The medium is a ripoff. Okay.
Can we find that episode and just insert the clip?
I can try and find... No, there's no way I can find it. I don't even know where I said that, to be honest. It would have been in Real Gamer Score even, so...
Char can put it in as the thumbnail.
The thumbnail, yeah, exactly.
Go for the large.
No extra for the outputs.
So a bit of news this week. Still a bit spotty, but we did get a bit of a hint from AMD. The CEO of AMD has basically hinted that the new Xbox could be like next year. We've been talking a little bit about like what next gen looks like and how there might be delays due to the RAM and how we kind of aren't done with this generation. Do we think that 2027 is...
I mean, they were always on the projections that 2027 would probably be that, right? I don't know if their ideas are up to date with what's kind of going on at the moment, so I don't know. So
I will be 100% honest. I saw this story, and it was immediately the Dwight seeing Angela meme. I'm like, holy
Jesus
fuck.
Yeah, 2027 is next year. Surprise.
Yeah, it's like, holy fuck. And then I realized, like, Series S, Series and X and S was 2020.
It was, yeah, so 7 years ago. Yeah, or 6 years ago. It'd be 7 by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long time.
Jeez.
We've known each other for a long time, Cameron. It's
How have we known each other? Has it been a decade yet?
maybe not quite a decade, almost.
Almost a decade. Cool.
But yeah, but on PC Mag, he was talking about what's happening at AMD. They also just had a massive stock price drop yesterday, I think. Well, to be fair, everyone did because the stock market's in free fall at the moment for some fucking reason.
Yep.
Probably due to ALI just not doing anything. But the quote here was, from a product standpoint, Valve is on track for shipping the AMD-powered Steam machine early this year, and development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring an AMD semi-custom SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of I think Microsoft is doing some of their stuff kind of in-house now as well. Anyway, like we've got all that stuff this week about OpenAI and stuff like that, and NVIDIA and stuff, right? So, like, it's gonna be like a matter of like how much are they pushing internally and how much is being outsourced, to where it's going to be a problem. So
yeah, well, I mean, they're not going to get far without the AMD stuff, though, right?
no.
Yeah,
I think AMD is going to be sitting pretty though after the stuff that's kind of like coming up. So
I'm really trying.
They're kind of eating the Nvidia's kind of meal. So yeah.
I'm really trying to think what the next console would look like in terms of specs and that, and like in terms of upgrades to justify purchase.
I mean, no,
because the more I think about this generation, the only good thing, in my opinion, was quick resume.
Yeah,
and I know that not everybody will agree with that.
No, it's definitely not. I do not quick resume anything except for Project Cars 3.
No, I double quit out of everything just to make sure the quick resume doesn't fuck anything up.
Yeah,
I wish I could turn.
I want my cloud saves to save properly and not sit in limbo and then accidentally be lost because quick resume.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is the other thing is that like no load times, the SSD like super fast loading stuff has been, and that has been really really good. I've even noticed it with what I've been playing this week is like I'm getting through a load screen faster than the dialogue for the load screen is spoken, which is pretty impressive.
It feels like every AAA game these days is coming out at like 30 FPS and then it gets upgraded like a year later and.
Kind of. I mean, a lot of it is having that like performance mode or quality mode. It's like 4K 30 or 60 or 1080 60.
Yeah.
It's not, well, actually no. These days, actually, it's more closer to like 4K 60 with ray tracing turned off or ray tracing turned on rather, or like it's like there's like usually some sort of mix, more like what you'd see on a PC.
Well, I mean, like, and we saw that thing where they were favoring like 45 frames.
Yeah, which is a bit of an interesting one, yeah.
So, yeah.
But, like, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse because we've definitely talked about how I don't think any of us are really ready for next gen at this point. We don't really see a big reason to upgrade unless they have some major killer apps, which they won't do because there's no reason for them to do so.
The big thing that they're doing the most consistently is making things play anywhere. And we're seeing that with stuff where SKUs are being delisted. And then being replaced with play anywhere versions of them.
Yeah.
The newest one this week coming up, I think. Well, soonish, right? The Yakuza 3, I think.
Yeah, right. That's getting they're redoing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have the version that comes with the collection, or you basically get the new version, which is play anywhere. Well, the PC version is the thing that's being cut, I think. Out of because they just want to make it one version. So there's obviously like a direction there, and they're hitting that pretty hard. So.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To your point there, Keo, that they're definitely trying to make this stuff as like again they've been committed to backwards compatibility and making sure the play anywhere thing, and it's like Yeah, even if they bring out a next gen console, they're still putting out games for the Xbox One that are compatible, right? Like it's still happening, and that was a console from 2013. So like, I'm not I wouldn't be super surprised if they release something and then it's just like, oh, it's out there and it's more powerful and like. But yeah, I think to your point, Cameron, like what's the selling point? You know, what's the reason to upgrade? I mean, obviously they didn't do a mid console refresh like PlayStation does, so they're definitely behind that in terms of the power of the console is going to be 7 years old by next year, which is quite old, and that's kind of, you know, usually get to about 7-8 years when you want to have a new console out. But I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, there's also rumors that PlayStation have an OLED portal coming.
Yeah.
And like with the, you know, the Ally X did pretty well, I think.
Apparently, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
The other thing too is, I just feel like the AI bubble is going to burst, too.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm just like, is that going to happen this year? Is that going to happen next year? Like, it's going to get to a point where, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is looking. Well, it's not looking great out there, especially considering that OpenAI might be out of business by the end of next year.
Yeah, well, those businesses are just feeding each other until all the infrastructure is set up, though. So
yeah, apparently, I guess we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, so and then, like, yeah, and then we'll see.
But again, that was the proposed reason. Like, can you imagine if AMD has their stuff ready for 2027, but RAM affordability hasn't come down, and like, so they have to put this thing out at like, you know, $2,000. No one's gonna fucking buy one.
Yeah,
like. And no one's going to buy an Xbox console to begin with. And then if it's too expensive, they're going to lose the small market share that they do have. Do they care about that?
So the AI chips need to replace RAM, basically, for anything to come from it, right?
I was going to say, I really worry that the next generation is going to be the last, and it's basically going to be a perfect storm of all this shit happening, and Microsoft just going, no, there's no point being in hardware anymore where we can just be a big publisher.
It really feels like they're only doing this generation because they told their investors they were going to do it, and they told the public that they were invested for another generation, and they feel like they have to do it.
And it's going to be a case of, we're not going to do it because X, Y, and Z, and it's going to be all external factors that do not relate to.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's like yeah, I could very much see this being the last generation of Xbox. I mean, I know SkillUp has talked a lot about like how he sees it more being like something like the Surface, where it's like it's the Xbox version of something, but it might be something that's like third party.
You know what? It's probably going to go Xbox branded PCs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like, yeah, a PC's built by someone else, probably, you know, by fucking Dell or HP or Lenovo or whoever the fuck, right?
Yeah, and then the Xbox name is just thrown around as a gaming.
Yeah,
piece.
It runs the Xbox gaming experience or whatever, and it just, you know, and it's basically like big picture mode. But again, is that something people would buy? Would you buy that?
Okay, I would. Okay, I'm going to split into two different parts here because it's going to be a case of people will buy it, but they won't buy it because it's Xbox. They'll buy it because it's a branded. They will buy it because it's a PC.
Sure.
And direct. It's going to be more of a ecosystem kind of thing, right?
That's a good example.
Buying a PC, you get your. Keo, chime in here because I have not bought.
Yeah, well, okay, cool. That's a good example because that's why people are buying the ROG Ally X. Because it's one of the most powerful handhelds on the market. You know, some people are using those for where they have space restrictions. They put that in front of their TV and plug it in and have it hubbed into their TV over actually buying a computer. And you save a lot more power because you're not running a beefy desktop.
So my thinking is, because all the rumors for the next generation all that suggests like a Xbox PC hybrid where it's easier for game developers to build games to PC because it's the same. You know, it's the same.
We've been on that track because, like, again, yeah, for sure.
It is basically removing any level of hesitation for a game developer. It's just going to be, yep, super easy for you guys to do this. It's going to be retail PCs having access to Game Pass, as I'm pretty sure they already do at the moment.
Yep.
And getting people into that ecosystem where it's just like, all right, well, I know you've got your Steam library, but you can also have a Game Pass for PC subscription and have access to all these games that we're a publisher for. We're going to get out the hardware side of the business for console, but we're still going to focus on developing our controllers. Like, controllers and all that will be safe.
Sure.
It will be focusing on PC. It will be branding PCs with Xbox or Xbox Experience, whatever they.
Well, yeah, the Xbox Experience. You migrate that onto the consoles, and you have access to your Steam library instantly.
It will be catering to hardcore gamers by having third parties like ROG develop handheld consoles and that. Whether they decide to explore other stuff is going to be the question. But I do feel with Stadia that is very much a case of, putting everything out and everywhere, removing all that, removing any, what's the right word I want to use? Unfortunately, removing exclusivity and then just becoming one of those things of like, yeah, we just support PC mainly, which I don't personally have a problem with as long as the ecosystem is supported correctly.
Yeah, well, I guess that's my question, right? Is what about all the current Xbox games that aren't what about compatibility? I guess is the question, right?
Compatibility is the biggest issue, right? But then before 2015, 2015, did we have any knowledge of backwards compatibility coming out? No. It was very much we kept our Xbox 360, we kept our Xbox One. I'm not sure how they will do it, but given that they've already done it across 2 generations before, and originally with the Xbox One, what was the original plan for that? It was tying your profile to digital games and that, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Would you mean the original pitch? Yeah, it was pretty much where we are now. Yeah,
exact pitch was.
The idea was that you could, if you bought a disc, you would essentially tie it to your profile, and if you wanted, then you basically couldn't resell it.
I'm wondering if enough of a time gap has already happened between the Xbox One generation to now that worrying about backwards compatibility and all that outside of a digital library, like I'm just saying physical media and all that will just be thrown to the wayside. They won't worry about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it will just be developing a system in place, which from the sounds of it, Sarah Bond's already doing.
An emulator, basically.
Yeah,
like
and having that
360.
But the other thing too is whatever they do with PC, you're going to be able to scale that. So I could be a really die-hard gamer and just buy a very top-of-the-end PC.
Yeah, but I guess that's the thing, right? Is that
one of the things of like just making sure the developers can cater to everybody there, but there's no difference from Steam.
The problem is we're talking a lot about developers, right? We're talking a lot about Microsoft. We have not talked about consumers. Like if we're thinking about who would buy the next who on God's green earth would buy the next Xbox console, the people listening to this podcast and us are probably the prime candidates for that, right?
Yeah.
The people who are so locked into the Xbox ecosystem that leaving seems like a crazy idea. If they go down the route of making it a PC that is not backwards compatible with the stuff that we've already bought, then that's a non-starter for us, right? If they do make it backwards compatible, they're not going to sell enough units because it'll be too restricted. If they just make a PC, there's no way they're going to be able to make a PC cheaper unless they subsidize it, which they could do, but they're not going to because they don't care about hardware, then one you could build yourself.
Considering how everything is with hardware at the moment, like it.
Oh yeah, true. Hardware is ridiculously expensive no matter what you do, so that's fair. But it's still going to be, they're still going to tack on price. Like this is what they were talking about with like the Steam box, right? Is that they're not talking about price, and they're also talking about not subsidizing the price of that and taking a loss on it. Like Microsoft's not going to be willing to take a loss in this next console. And if it's just going to be the same as a PC, and if I get the exact same experience on a PC, then I'm just going to build a PC, and I have built a PC, and I've just used that instead. I guess the thing I'm trying to get at is that obviously the distinction between a console and PC has broken down over the last few years in terms of like play anywhere and like architecture and like chipsets and things like that, right? But there is the definitive thing of like, I cannot play my entire Xbox library on my PC right now. If I could, I probably wouldn't use my Series X. I wouldn't need to. But if that becomes true, then the console has actually evolved itself out of existence. Because the kinds of people who would buy a machine that will be very expensive and very for the hardcore audience will be the kinds of people who probably already have a PC to begin with. In my mind, again, I might be wrong, right? Again, I'm talking about how I think about it. But.
Yeah, I don't see a future where we just have a console just being a console. I do think the next generation will be like, hey, it's like it is a console, but it's also a PC. Like it will be marketed as a console, but it'll be like, but then you can use Microsoft Office to do like.
But that's just a PC though, is what I'm saying. Like the more you talk about it, the more it just sounds like a custom PC.
The place that it will know more once they unlock the Z2 AI chip on the ROG Ally. Because that's not activated yet. Because the AI stuff is the thing that's going to bridge the gap, I think, between the DDR RAM issues and this and that, and like all of those other things, right? And then that's supposed to add another layer of power, sustainability, where it's offloading more stuff to the chip, so it's not using the which is, I guess why everyone's banking on AI, right? Because they need these other things to do the processes to make it easier to kind of bridge those gaps. So, what do you think? Cameron's thinking really hard about this.
The thing that keeps coming front of mind to me is like comparing to ROG Ally. ROG Ally isn't the best place to play Xbox, in my opinion.
No.
But then, like a console experience will still be catered to console gaming, but then it will just be like just the components being typical PC,
which is already what it is, basically. Like the thing, like what we're talking about here is basically an OS, right? Like it's an operating system. Like the Xbox operating system only plays Xbox games. It doesn't play PlayStation games, and it doesn't play PC games. There are some games where if you play the game and you download it on PC, it'll download the SKU and bring your files across, and the save files are compatible. But the games itself, like what it runs on, are different. And like
the architecture.
Yeah, the architecture. Thank you, is the word I'm looking for. And so I'm just like the ROG is the perfect example where it's like it's a PC. It's not a console. It doesn't have access to any of your console library except for the things that are already cross-compatible with the PC. It is just a handheld PC. It is not a handheld console. And I think that's an important distinction. And I think that the more and more we move away from the console towards the PC, the harder it's going to be to come up with something that bridges that gap in a way. Like I think you're like a hybrid console that plays all your Xbox stuff on the Xbox OS, but also like dual boots into Steam libraries and other bits and pieces potentially.
So if we have that kind of emulated experience though on PC, would that be terrible? Like the only concern I have with PC is losing that access and then not having the Xbox achievement experience that I currently have.
Yeah.
But like I'm playing games like Age of Empires and that all the time, and I'm having no issues now that achievements actually. I do hate the notifications. Just being you have to have notifications on to unlock achievements. Bullshit for PC. I do think they should be their own separate things, but
who knows? There might be an achievement rework with the next console generation. Yeah. But I think maybe just to kind of bring this to a head before we move on, like I think that there are parts of the Xbox infrastructure that they could try and replicate on a new console or bring that PC experience more together. And like an emulator is probably the way you'd have to do it. Of like Because what you couldn't, dual booting probably wouldn't really work for a console. But if it was
That's all that.
Yeah.
I was going to say with the emulators, it's all that 360.
Yeah, that's what the 360 is doing. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that maybe it's like, well, what you basically end up with is a PC first that's like, oh, cool, you can play all your Windows games and all your Steam games and all your Epic games, as we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
And if you want to play your Xbox, like Xbox or old Xbox stuff, non-PC Xbox stuff, you have to boot into the emulator, but it's all seamless, and they have a system that does that, like the 360 one.
The only problem I can see is like getting all that up to scratch with multiple different levels of hardware.
And that's what I'm thinking, like, where I'm like, okay, cool. How is this going to work? Is it going to be appealing? Is it going to work? Is this the point where they're like, yeah, we don't do the achievement support for these games anymore. We don't force it because it's just Windows versions now, or it's just Steam versions.
Yeah.
Or is this a case of you still have access to your games, but the experience on PC might be different because we had like, I'm sure they will do the backwards compatibility stuff if they do go down that route.
But they'll cut it off at some point. Yeah.
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 Well, that's what I was saying with the Yakuza stuff before, right? It's specifically the PC versions that are getting axed and delisted. And, you'll basically have these new Play Anywhere versions of them. We had Tomb Raider and the Temple of Osiris, like, randomly show up and just... It's an old game that's, was only on the 360.
Yeah.
The Take-Two games, Red Dead and GTA... Like, there's 2 new versions of GTA 5. There's the PC version of 5, and then they've also got the legacy version of the same thing on PC. There's 2 versions on the Windows Store.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're getting into that. We're going to end up on the legacy side of things, and it's like, I think things become legacy. They have to run an emulator, or they have to have some sort of compatibility to run separately. Yeah, which is a future I'm a little bit concerned about. But to be fair, I'm not looking to buy a new console anytime soon, so I've got plenty to play.
It's all right. It's all right. If they bring back the Windows Phone achievements, it's okay.
That'd be amazing.
It's okay.
But it's like we've seen this before with games for Windows Live, right? Like a bunch of Steam games used to have that functionality, and they patched it out, and it was like it wasn't like, oh, you can play the games for Windows Live version. It's like, no, it's just gone. Like fucking Dawn of War 2 and shit. Anyway, in a sort of related story, Epic has also talked about how they want their storefront and free games to be on the next Xbox console, which is a fun, kind of interesting idea. You see a lot of these news stories around how the user base basically doesn't do anything on the Epic store except log in, get their free games, and then disappear, and not even play those free games.
Realistically, they already have 2. Because they gave out the codes for Xbox games.
They have done, or at least Windows
Dungeon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which ones?
Minecraft Dungeons and Fallout 76.
Yeah, 76, although 76 was that the PC version or was it the Xbox
Amazon?
Version?
Can't remember.
Weren't they done on the Amazon?
Yeah, they've done a few different.
Yeah, they did it through. Oh wait, was it? It might be Prime that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Prime. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were talking about how talking to the folks at Microsoft, if they do follow through with allowing Steam and the Epic Games Store on the next generation of Xbox console hardware, we'll be there, and I'm certain they'll be required us to build an app and functions there. Which is an interesting idea, I guess. I mean, it is one of those things that we kind of miss out on, is that not being PC gamers, you definitely don't get access to all that free stuff, and the big appeal of PC gaming has been the deals and the kind of the flexibility and kind of, having multiple storefronts to potentially try and, get stuff. How that would work for compatibility reasons, again, I think this ties back into the discussion we were just having. It's like, well, if you're going to have the Epic storefront on your next-gen console, that console is just a PC then. Like, unless this console is, like I said, dual booting or emulating or whatever it's doing. But, yeah. But, I mean, be interested to see how the strategy works.
Realistically, we're probably going to get games, but then it's going to be like the PC access.
Yeah, exactly. No achievement versions or anything like that, for sure. Yeah.
I know I shouldn't think like this. I know a free game is a free game, but it's just like, if I can't unlock Xbox achievements, I don't want it.
To be fair, I have if it was a free game and I had free time and I didn't have anything else to play, then sure, I'll play it. But I have so many other fucking games to play. And to be fair, most of the free stuff are things that I've already bought or on Game Pass. So, but I know what you mean.
We're too locked into the ecosystem. Like, if we're starting again from scratch, like, and I was a PC gamer, then sure, I'd play games for playing games.
But to be fair, most people who are PC gamers were locked in with the Steam ecosystem, and they don't even play those games that they get for free on the Epic Store.
Yeah, they get it for free to say that I've got it.
Yeah, because they like getting free stuff. And then, to be fair, a lot of people actually, I didn't put this in the news last week, but it was a developer who said they released the game for free on Epic Store and saw sales for it on Steam increase. Because people were like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll buy it on Steam because I want it as part of my Steam library. I'll pay money for it."
Yeah,
like that's crazy. But yeah,
you could do that with a demo actually. Put the demo out on Epic and then just point them to
buy the
Steam.
game. Yeah. Well,
I mean that's just quickly. That's the reason why Steam has this 30% cut and all that. Like they are a monopoly for this kind of stuff.
That's where you go to buy games. Yeah. Obsidian have talked a bit around how their latest games did last year. So for those who didn't know, they released 3 games last year, which is kind of crazy because they did Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, and Grounded 2. Apparently, Grounded 2 is doing very well for them. Kind of a bit of a smash success, even though it's still in early access. But apparently, Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 apparently did not do super well. Outer Worlds 2 in particular did not do great at all. They said basically the quote was, "They're not disasters, but I'm not going to say this was a kick in the teeth, but it's more like that sucks. What are we learning?" So yeah, both games sort of failed to meet their expected sales targets, which I think is a bit of a weird one, given that they were on Game Pass and advertised. Well, I don't know. I feel like Outer Worlds kind of got a bum rap, given that they were part of the $80 thing going forward and kind of got a lot of bad press.
Yeah. I can understand, I guess, the conversation around Avowed, but I think Outer Worlds 2, unfairly, it's the $80 price tag discussion, and that being the first, I guess, scapegoat for it.
Sure.
If it had been COD, and COD being like the $80 discussion, then
different
ballgame. I mean, I think the Outer Worlds 2 is great, with the exception of the leveling the end game that I said about.
Was that on Game of the Year list? Spoilers for those who haven't listened.
Or incentive to listen.
True.
There'll be completely new games and extra content for the Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2 coming our way. Good. I'm still happy.
I'm glad
about
they're still
that.
supporting it at least. Yeah.
They'll finish it off, and then that's pretty much going to be the thing. I had another point. Oh, the unrealistic sales targets that Xbox has set. That was going to be, what was it, like 30%?
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah, like in a 30% profit or something along those lines, profit margin, which you're like getting above like 12% is pretty fucking high. So yeah, 30% is crazy.
Wasn't it? Sony operates at like 7 to 8%,
something like that. Yeah, like it's kind of set up to fail, unfortunately. I mean, it is a bit nuts that they put out that they did Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 in the same year. I mean, obviously, I understand it's different teams and it's relatively large, and they're supported by Microsoft, who have infinite money. But it does feel like the Outer Worlds kind of got just kind of thrown out to die. I mean, it was a very strong year last year. I feel like if they released the Outer Worlds like in February, like this month, I feel like it would have done a lot better, but maybe not.
It's one of those things too where I feel like the last few years have had that many games that it's just like, where do you slot this kind? Like that was the problem, the delays of COVID and all that. Where do we slot all these games into?
Yeah,
Outer Worlds 2 in October. Like I was the only person to play it. I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of wondering, like, have we slept on Avowed? Because I know Lee had played quite a bit of it.
Yeah. I guess Avowed did come out of that period, right? So I guess
it was like Avowed and Clair Obscure, like
to be fair, maybe it was just that last year was a fucking stacked year, and that it's just kind of hard to get any kind of purchase between like the juggernauts of things like Clair Obscure and Silk Song and Battlefield 6 and fucking Split Fiction, and just like there was so much to play last year.
The other thing too is like putting the Outer Worlds 2 in like the same time period as COD. Like how far apart were those release dates? You should think of something like COD having the banner come up at the very that level of marketing when you start the console and it's just like it's available now kind of stuff.
Like Shadow dropping it.
No, when you like reboot your console sometimes in a particular day.
Yes, the like full page display ad thing that's fucking awful. Yeah.
So the other unfair thing I think too is if you're aiming for a 30% profit margin on all games across your studios, then why do particular studios get to have higher levels of marketing compared to others?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question, but I guess, yeah. I know, I get what you mean. I guess, but it's not like I don't think Xbox treat all of their studios equally, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kia, what do you think, Kia?
I think you're pretty much right about not treating them equally. Like really, like there wasn't much room to move. Like there was no way. Like Outer Worlds 2 was the thing I went, no, I do not have time for this, and I just ignored it.
That was me too, unfortunately. Yeah, as much as I enjoyed the first one, I had my problems with the first game, but it was definitely one of those ones where I unfortunately immediately put it on the backlog.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah. It was just like, don't have the time investment for it. It's It's there's quite a bit coming out. I need to have Game of the Year stuff. I would like to talk about it, and I will try and get through it this year. Like I've been thinking about putting it on my list, but yeah, it was a hard sell.
My question is, if there wasn't the success of Grounded 2, and I guess what success look like in terms of the entire studio, should we be concerned about like studio closures for somebody like Obsidian?
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
you wouldn't think so with
Hi-Fi Rush, yeah, Tango Gameworks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tango had a game that was highly regarded, but didn't sell super well.
Yeah,
this is like, but I think Obsidian is a large enough studio doing enough different projects, and I think we've seen stuff with like they've done a couple of like Double Fine stuff where it's like they did Pentiment a couple of years ago, right? That was really good, and so I think it's okay that they're making kind of smaller games. They've already talked about doing a sequel for Avowed, like that's kind of in the works at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think if anything, they are closest to the spirit of Xbox as a community base.
Exactly.
So things like Outer Worlds 2 doesn't seem like their ball pit because it's just like a game they'll put it out and it has an ending, right? But the work that they've managed to do with Grounded 2 and that they're showing like what they can do with a community and like for the community is just so much better than any of this. So
yeah, exactly right. And they've positioned that game to be very much like, we're making sure there's early access, we're going to be continuing to update it. Whereas I feel like the way they talked about the Outer Worlds 2, where they were like, it's like the Outer Worlds 1, but like bigger and like, and like again, there wasn't enough marketing for the game to begin with, which I completely agree with. But I feel like the marketing they did put, like, really, people need to remember that like Obsidian are a AA developer, like they're not a AAA huge studio. They're not a Playground Games, for example, right? They're smaller than that or more niche than that. Yes, Cameron.
We need them to be the Double Fine of AA.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going with. It's like doing smaller projects or medium-sized projects like the Outer Worlds, right? But also pricing them, scoping them at that level, and talking about them at that level.
It seems like Obsidian's at its best with smaller teams, like Pentiment, like Grounded. So, and then I guess like more passionate teams with like Pillars of Eternity and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, sure, those are definitely more niche projects, right? And like I think that's okay for them to do stuff like that.
But if
So Cameron, with the way that the Outer Worlds 2 is, do you think the scope of the game itself was too big? Like it could have been a lot smaller, or what do you think?
It's hard to say too, because it's like I thought it was a banger of a game,
Sure.
other than what you already said. And it's like if it did meet that level of, it's one of those things that I'm kind of like in the ball camp of they're like Xbox 360 generation Bethesda with RPGs.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. That's obviously what they were going for. Yeah.
Like what they're aiming for, and like whether that actually works in this day and age.
Is there still an audience for that, is what you're saying?
Is there still an audience for that? Because you think of like taking a look at Bethesda for a moment, you've got stuff like Fallout and Skyrim, and that having very diehard audiences. Do we have like RPGs coming out now that are basically it's name recognition?
Well,
It's
I mean,
weird. You
yeah,
get what I mean? Like it is they sell because everybody knows Skyrim, everybody knows Fallout, as opposed to Starfield and the Outer Worlds. I do think it is one of those things at the same time of Outer Worlds 1, did it perform well enough to form that recognizable IP? And then Starfield being thrown in the same camp of like,
yeah.
I think that the mentality of like the Outer Worlds one though is kind of like them still proving that they should be the people making Fallout.
There is that too, yeah.
I think my argument stems with, do RPGs sell in this day and age where we have digital microtransactions, we have games that are very much built like ecosystems?
It's not the same. Yeah, we're not in the same world where even Outer Worlds 1 came out. And yeah, for sure. No, I get what you mean.
A game like Starfield, a game like Outer Worlds seem like they would do very well in the Xbox 360 generation.
I still feel like maybe
early Xbox One. I'm just saying
pre-COVID.
We are now.
Yeah,
where we are now, it's a harder argument to make, and I do think these games, these larger RPGs, with the exception of stuff like Clair Obscura and that have an absolute banger of a story leading it, it's going to be recognizable IP. It's going to be Fallout. It's going to be the Elder Scrolls.
All right, so the solution is rebrand Outer Worlds to Fallout Worlds.
Well, that's, I guess, like, you're joking, but like I think that there is definitely something to be said. I mean, that's what New Vegas kind of, that's they kind of got that IP and did their own little thing with it.
I mean, that was the first thing. I do think it sucks, but I do think it is very much a case of like, like
if you think about what was Obsidian's other big game that they did back in 2004, it was KOTOR 2. Like they got handed an IP from and something to work with and kind of did an amazing, and again, that game is broken as fuck and unfinished, and I know, but like the concept and like the work on it is amazing.
I do really think we're going to get a New Vegas 2.
I hope
so. Well. And I do think it will be Obsidian. So I do think they will do more RPGs in the future. Yeah. But I don't think they should be doing stuff to the scale. Sorry, let me reframe that. They should not be working on their own projects as a AA studio without the support of somebody like Bethesda in terms of giving them the assets.
Okay.
Like, as in, I could see Fallout 5's got to be in the 2030s.
But if Bethesda Studios are the ones doing it,
Obsidian would be getting stuff like Fallout 4 and be using that asset.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think. I think games like Avowed and all that kind of prove that they should be working as smaller teams.
Well,
yeah. You get what I'm saying, though, right?
I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree, because the reason Outer Worlds 2 exists is because the Outer Worlds 1 was successful, right? And like Outer Worlds 1 is a new IP. Avowed is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, right? Like that's the other thing too, is that like it's based on their IP already. It's another
But it's
game.
A very niche.
It's a different style of game, but yeah, I don't know.
I do think it comes back to your point too of pre-COVID, because Outer Worlds 1 was October 2019.
Yeah, it was 6
I wanted
years
to look
ago.
up that.
Yeah.
Which sucks because it's like, all right, well, even something like Final Fantasy 16 not performing as well. Like it does kind of feel like that.
We're in a different world. Yeah.
And it kind of makes me lead the conclusion of these RPGs not selling as well anymore because people just want to jump online, play something that they can just put an hour into, then jump off.
Yeah, I mean, we've never been the majority, right? Like,
yeah, I'm talking as an everyday consumer
sure,
kind of.
that's I would say
Yeah,
that's probably the case.
You know, Chapel Roan came to Fortnite, guys. That's where the real money is.
Oh boy.
That's not a THQ spec.
Sorry, you go.
The THQ spectacle of the, big and flashy is gone.
So. Yeah, exactly. It's done. Yeah, they kind of they run out of money, right? All right. Moving on. This will be a quick one. Konami apparently has a new Silent Hill game in the works. In other words, water is wet, and it gets dark at night. But it is not just Bloober Team's Silent Hill 1 remake apparently they're working on. Apparently there is a brand new title in the series. So really looking forward to that because I loved 2 and I loved F. Highly, highly recommend playing both of those. Yes, Cameron?
I'm not sure if you ever told us. What was the reason it was called F? Is it a spoiler?
Well, it was interpretation, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could mean they actually wanted the audience to be the interpreter of what F means.
Yeah, they don't actually turn to the camera and tell you what F means.
No.
You have to kind of...
Yeah, they don't go, this is truly a Silent Hill F.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. What are we, some kind of Silent Hill F team?
And like, honestly, I started learning...
why it wasn't Game of the Year.
Yeah.
When I was playing Silent Hill F, I was actually learning a little bit about cameras and like aperture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the aperture, it's like the how much light gets let in, how much darkness is like there, like it is the foreground against the background, like what's lit up and what's not. And it's like, and then I'm like, that's totally like fog, really, like background fog, light, darkness, kind of like, Yeah. So it could be just Silent Hill fog.
Silent Hill fog, yeah. Could be, I mean, there's fog in all the games,
right?
yeah.
So exactly right. So,
but
I guess we know that the story's dark.
Yep.
Very dark. So
yes,
how much of that light is in the darkness and opposite? Where does it? And that's just foggy. That's just foggy, So, but anyway, yeah, that's my little.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, I love Silent Hill 2. I loved F. I mean, everyone needs to play Silent Hill F, or at least I would. I want to talk about
everyone.
it. Like, there's so much in the story I just want to dig into.
Let me get through my backlog.
Yep.
And then I'll
do game. But yeah, definitely keen to see where. I mean, again, they have also made a lot of bad Silent Hill games over the years. A lot of side story bullshit and that fucking weird TV thing the FMV thing they did. Anyway, so I guess we'll keep an eye out. But it seems like Konami maybe we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
What do we think Bloober's working on?
Silent Hill 1.
Other than
I mean, they're done with Kronos or whatever it was, so
usually going now, right?
Did they do Kronos? Yeah, they did Kronos, right? That was last year.
Yeah.
Kronos
yeah. I'm gonna play that at one point.
Yeah, it's on my to look at list for sure. I'm waiting for a good sale.
Yeah, I reckon a reinterpretation of the Wii version of Silent Hill 1 would be interesting.
Oh, well, actually,
Shattered or whatever it was.
Shattered Memories or whatever it was, or the ice one.
Yeah.
That one was actually like Cameron laughs, but it was actually a really interesting kind of take on that game, except for the fucking running sections where you were fucking motion controlling like an idiot.
Fuck. Yeah.
What else we got here? Cameron, you've dropped something in here about Overwatch. I've never heard of this. What's this?
So Overwatch was a Game of the Year 2017, I think it was.
Yeah, actually, I was looking up Game of the Year because we're having a discussion around it in the house, around like whether things deserve to get Game of the Year based on the competitors. And I was like, oh yeah, Overwatch got like Game of the Year for the year it came out, which is crazy.
Overwatch was amazing back in the day, and I think people are trying to Blizzard is trying to bring back that by dropping the 2 out of the name.
Yep.
So they did a crazy amount of announcements with a developer spotlight the other day. So they're dropping the 2 out of the name. They're doing the movies, the cinematics again. They're doing a Hello Kitty collab, which, like, I had a look at that and it looked pretty damn awesome.
It does look cool.
They've announced 15 new heroes coming out this year and dropping 5 next week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh god.
One of which is very much being thirst trapped over.
Yes.
And then the other one, which is a kitty with a jetpack.
Also good.
What more can the people ask for?
They've definitely been listening to their community. The only surprise announcement that I was waiting for was them saying that they were going back to 6v6, but they're still holding on to 5v5, but everything else is basically going back to old Overwatch because they realized they fucked up.
And I think the only other thing I haven't mentioned is they're going to do the storyline stuff, but how they're going to work it in is they're going to do it over the entirety of the season in the year. So then players get that story going along.
Yeah.
Which I'll have to see how people feel about that, pulling it off. But
yeah, I mean that's how what's it the one that the Titanfall devs did. What is it? The
Apex.
No. Apex. That's how Apex did it with their seasons.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
But yeah, I thought 15 heroes is pretty goddamn crazy.
It's a lot.
So hopefully they don't add any new achievements because I still need to get 3 achievements and I'm done.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's end this podcast.
See how that goes.
But again, Jericho and I think 1 achievement Sojourn.
Yeah.
But like this is clearly in response to Rivals.
Yeah, for sure. Rivals like taking off and yeah, they kind of want to get that back. And to be fair, I mean Blizzard are doing a lot of stuff at the moment. Again, this is their kind of big anniversary announcement stuff, so they're talking about all of the games they're working on, except for StarCraft. No StarCraft news.
So the other thing I forgot to mention too was that with the Overwatch and Hello Kitty collab, they're also bringing theme skins to Diva, Widowmaker, Juno, Mercy, Kirikou, Lucio, and faction theme skins are coming as well, along with new mythic tier cosmetics. Skins from the last 6 seasons that were previously microtransaction shop exclusives are being added to the loot boxes.
Okay, all right.
That's good.
Going back to loot boxes, so interesting.
If they continue doing that, that's going to be like an interesting.
They are really just going back to Overwatch 1. Like it's crazy. Like
it's weird that it took them to Rivals to realize that that's what they needed.
Yeah, that's what people wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. And all the heat's off loot boxes now.
That's true.
It's other stuff.
Now we've got AI problems to worry about.
So we've got children getting gacha like blind boxes in stores. So
buying PNGs and
yeah.
This next one's a quick one, but there was a Nintendo Direct today that just kind of ran through a bunch of games. A few of them are coming to Xbox, but the main one, I guess, is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They announced coming to Switch and Xbox on June. Did they give the exact date? I think they just said June 3rd.
Yeah, I think it was June 3rd, wasn't it?
Yep, June 3rd. So I just finished I just finished Final Fantasy VII Remake this week, so I cannot wait to play Rebirth because I heard that it's just kind of bigger and better and just more ridiculous. So yeah, really, really looking forward to playing that.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few other things that were coming as well, but nothing like, I don't know. I didn't
like Resident Evil amiibos apparently.
Yes, Resident Evil amiibo. That's crazy. The Leon one looks really
talking
derpy.
About thirst trap. That Leon Kennedy, I tell ya,
he looks real derpy. Yeah. They've got this like the one that kind of tweaked my interest was the Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales, which if you haven't seen the thing, I was like, oh, is that they're doing another Octopath? It's like, no, it's using the Octopath engine, but it's actually a like top-down time traveling action adventure RPG. Looks really interesting. And then Turok also made an appearance. That weird Turok Origins co-op thing that they're doing that looks kind of like Monster Hunter.
I've missed that actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like it's Saber Interactive, so it'll be like a AA game, but But it looks like it'll be a fun one that'll hopefully ends up on Game Pass pretty quickly. And then we also got some news just very, very quickly. It was just basically just a tweet from Jeff Keighley basically saying that apparently there's a Baldur's Gate TV series that is going to be on HBO from the Last of Us co-creator and Hasbro Entertainment. They're kind of teaming up to do this. Larian isn't involved in this at all, obviously, because Larian kind of said goodbye to Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro and all that kind of stuff because they were like, we don't want to be doing the D&D thing anymore. So I'm very curious to see where that goes. We basically just have that headline at this point. There's not really a lot of details yet, but
hey, it'll pick up where The Witcher died in the arse.
Yeah, fucking yeah, tell me about it, right? But apparently the TV series is supposed to be like a continuation as opposed to like a retelling like HBO's, like Last of Us was. So I guess we'll see. I mean, there's I guess the characters are the most interesting thing there in those games. So we'll see what that looks like and what the world looks like. And
man, you just made me realize something.
What?
Remember, how do I frame this? So remember, like Xbox One generation, where it was very much TV.
Yeah.
And we had like Halo.
Yep.
We're gonna have the Microsoft problem of all these Xbox-owned franchises actually getting to the point of delivering banger TV series.
Yeah, always being just too early. Yeah.
Always just being too early because Halo was a case of it being cancelled. Now we've got Fallout in an absolute banger. Like,
yeah.
I cannot wait to talk about the end of the season.
Yes, I'm very excited.
And I'm so hyped for Wolfenstein. Unbelievably hyped.
Yeah, so I think you're right, but also I feel like it wasn't so much that Xbox had to get there; it was that TV needed to get there.
Yeah, true.
And I think that was the big problem, because if they were making things like they did for like Quantum Break, like I wouldn't watch that. But anyway, yeah, I am curious to see what they do with this. I mean, calling it a Baldur's Gate TV series,
yeah,
like it's. I feel like they're really being like, oh, Baldur's Gate is popular, so we're going to call it a Baldur's Gate TV series. When really, it's just Neverwinter. Like it's that Dungeons and Dragons world, right? Like it's
right,
like Baldur's Gate is somewhere in the Sword Coast in that anyway, but it's in that kind of D&D
name recognition.
Yeah, 100%. It's all like name recognition, but it's like you could call anything that, and it'd be like, oh, Asterion appears in this one episode, so it's a Baldur's Gate TV series. But anyway,
I just realized something too. Going back to Wolfenstein, I really want Alan Richardson to play
BJ
the guy
Blazkowicz. Yeah, Reacher. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. And then you found this last one, Cameron.
Oh, wait, I didn't put this one in.
Oh,
did you put
I definitely didn't put this one in.
Oh. Weird. All right.
I don't remember.
All
right. Well, Fallout 3 remaster reportedly still in active development.
Yeah,
I mean, there was
Okay. No, sorry. I know. This title really misled me. So yeah, there was basically just a new report that was shedding lights on Xbox's plans for 2026. Sorry, the title just really threw me off. So as Microsoft announced last month, Playground's Forza Horizon 6 is coming out in May. The Verge has said that Halo Campaign Evolved is targeting release in the summer. Gears of War E-Day, meanwhile, is set for the second half of the year. And Fable, as we know it, is due out in the fall. Microsoft reportedly wants both Gears of War E-Day and Fable to avoid GTA 6 November launch. According to the report, the Fallout 3 remaster fans are desperate to see announced is still in active development 3 years after it appeared in FTC documents as part of Microsoft's bid to buy Activision Blizzard. There's a few rumors going around social media that's still pretty far out. I don't know what that means in terms of a timeline, but it's pretty cool that this anniversary year is, we've got Forza Horizon, we've got Halo, we've got Gears, we've got Fable. Like, that's teeing up very nice. But the other bit of information was in terms of hardware, The Verge has said that Microsoft will release a new Xbox controller this year and will reportedly include Wi-Fi connectivity to reduce Xbox cloud gaming latency.
So that was Stadia's whole thing back in the day, right? That was their whole thing. Was that the controller connected to your Wi-Fi, not going through the console?
Yeah,
it's an interesting idea, which does make sense if you're going to be using it on other non-Xbox devices like TVs and other bits and pieces potentially.
Yeah. So my question is, if we think, or based on the previous information by AMD, that the console supposedly will come out next year, do we think we get a console announcement sometime this year? Because I do believe if a controller is coming this year, they'll announce it in June.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it would make sense for them to do it around Summer Games Fest. They'll do their own thing like they always do, but that's the time to talk about it. Even if they're just going to confirm it's a big black box and it goes under your TV, and they just show a sizzle reel and that's it. Sure, that would if they're releasing next year, then yeah, they're kind of going to have to do it. Like,
yeah, we talked ages ago about controllers connecting with Game Pass directly to screens, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not exactly new for sure, yeah. But we haven't actually seen them do anything with it yet, right? So I guess a Wi-Fi controller would be maybe a step towards whatever they're doing next gen.
Yeah.
Be very interesting though if it's a Wi-Fi controller. How does that get marketed? Like, is that going to be a case of this is just the new iteration of the standard XNS controller, or is this going to be, hey, this is something that's incorporated into the Elite V3?
No, they'll definitely be like they want everyone again. Everything is an Xbox, so everyone needs to be able to play it. So I think it would need to be the V3 of the current gen controllers.
Yeah, with the old sticks and not Hall effects like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like stick drift and maybe stronger shoulder buttons so I don't fucking break them.
Well, your fingers are pretty beefy, so it's not you. That's not the controller's fault.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Also, that countdown not being again. A lot of people are thinking the countdown on the website was for the Fallout 3 remaster. No such luck.
Yeah.
Well, it was basically just exploring House's office out of Vegas.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, there is the Oblivion and stuff was announced for the Switch Direct.
Yes, they did show off that like all that stuff is coming to Switch too.
Oblivion, Fallout 4, and
Indiana Jones.
I mean, technically, we had announcements, right? So
yeah, sure.
So the other interesting things, I guess, Fallout news related to this week was the fact that Shelter got delisted, and it kind of made me suspect of like, are they doing a Shelter remastered?
Maybe.
But there was a TikTok video that went out on Bethesda's official page asking for them for beta testers.
Oh, okay, so maybe they're doing like a Fallout Shelter 2?
I'm wondering if they're doing like a Fallout Shelter 2, but it's like more of a online...
Yeah, because that game is pretty old now, to be fair.
Kind of experience.
Sure.
Very old.
Like a gacha.
Yeah.
Like they're going to get to Genshin.
And then the other thing was, I think there was a best of Fallout pack. I haven't gone back and looked at it, but there was, and the, I can't say it. There is a cool cosmetic in the new thing that ties in with the TV show.
Right. Okay. We'll keep an eye out for that.
People are pissed that it's costing $30. That it's in a $30 pack.
Yeah, sure.
That's the thing.
All right. Well, I think that's all the news we've got. So, for a show where we didn't have a lot of news, I think we've done a pretty good job. Keo, do you want to run through the Game Pass updates?
Basically, what date are we on now? February the 6th. So, on February the 3rd, we had Final Fantasy II and Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
That was a shadow drop. Wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah. So, like, almost Game of the Year top 10 material. No more spoilers. You got to go watch
you got to go watch the episode. Exactly.
Got to go watch the. There you go. There's a little incentive to go watch the Game of the Year episode. And February 5th. So yesterday we had Madden and NFL 6 during. I guess 26.
Yep.
Did that just get released, or is that that was
last year's? Yeah,
like 6 months ago or something like that. Ultimate PC Game Pass as well. We also had Paw Patrol, Rescue Wheels, Championship, Ultimate Premium PC. February 10th, we've got Relooted, and BlazBlue Entropy Effect X. Actually, that's on the 12th. Yeah, that's cool because that's barely had any announcement stuff, right? So, but getting a new BlazBlue game is really cool. So, on the 12th, we also have Roadside Research, which we all kind of agree looks kind of cool. Yeah, a little bit. You guys remember that one?
Yeah, it's the alien one.
Yeah,
right?
we'll see.
Yeah.
It's the alien one with the faces.
Yeah, that
the
looks
people
interesting.
faces that are
it's
made
game
like
preview, so I'm like,
paper and
okay,
stuff.
well, let's see.
It is a bit like that, yeah. So we'll see, if we get achievements, if anyone goes on it. Star Sand Island as well. Is that based on something else? I feel like it was.
No, I think it's its own thing, but it's just yeah. It looks.
It's supposed to be some
cozy sim kind of thing. I don't know. It doesn't look.
Exactly right. Yeah. Ultimate and PC Game Pass, and then February 13 we have High on Life 2 on Ultimate and PC, and Kingdom Come Deliverance is making its way to Game Pass as well. I think for the first time, yeah.
Yep.
Ultimate Premium PC, yeah. So that first one, and we're actually finally getting Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora and Avowed on the 17th. So
Avowed's coming to Premium. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Right. Yeah. And Avatar is just another Ubisoft game getting thrown into the pool.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I mean, I'll just do the leaving games, I guess, first. The Madden NFL 24, they're going, so they'll be delisted and all that junk, So yeah.
Anybody seen the IGN videos of High on Life 2?
No, I haven't watched. I don't know anything about the game.
Like they basically just showed off the tutorial section, and it's your divorce lawyer walking you through
Amazing.
a tutorial.
I cannot wait to play. I mean, like, I loved High on Life 1. It was so fucking good. So
Nikita is very keen for it. Yeah. I won't say anything else.
Yeah, okay. I'm
probably going to jump on it next week.
patreon.com/HallOfGamers. A huge thank you to Old Mate Clown, Cavalier07, Hack and Pone, Kung Fu Skills, Happy Moogles, Admiral Awesome, Antolinator, Lee Howard, Left for Legacy, and Venom's AU. We literally couldn't afford to do the show without you guys, so thank you so much for your support. So if you do want to join the Patreon, we have a bit of extra content at all pay tiers, whether you give us $2 or $5 or $10. You get access to all of our Lights, Camera, and Action episodes. The backlog is available for free if you're a member. So you can join as a free member as well if you want to listen to those, as well as all of our new episodes. The first episode of Season 1 we put up for free, but the rest of them are all on the paid tier. But any tier, again, it's basically just we want to give a little bit back to those who are helping support the show, because we basically just cover the cost of hosting the show, and that's pretty much it. So a huge thank you to all of them. And yeah, let us know if there's other content you'd like to see as a Patreon, or if you want to join the Patreon, or things you think we're missing. Let us know. We love the feedback. Monthly theme, Keo, do you want to do that one?
Yeah, so the Bimestral Burden, January and February, we have New Year, New Me. So we're halfway through that now, being February. Play games with character customization and equipable character cosmetics, which apparently is everything, because I'm seeing some weird stuff pop up.
Yeah, I'm seeing some weird stuff around Age of Empires. Apparently, just like colors allow. Same character, but you just change the team and the color changes. I don't know.
Characters.
Like, and then there was a specific mission where you grab the So there's a specific mission where you got to take a transport ship, and you got another ship with it. And you go to different sections, and then as you pick up the local residents and all that, you can take them to a specific tent, and then it copies the last of the enemy AI's thing on that tent.
I don't think that counts.
Okay.
It's very unique to that mission.
It turns them into different units. That's not the same thing.
How customizable? Like, were you able to like?
Yeah, can you put a funny hat on them?
You can get the other units going over to there to match that unit. So it's essentially like a copy function.
Yeah, still okay.
I only posted that DLC. Only that DLC.
Okay, fine. The DLC, fine, but the rest of the game does not count.
Because it's a very cool feature. They are experimenting.
Well, let's think about what we've been playing then. Yes.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you can go
I've
first.
been playing Age of Empires.
Yeah, what a fucking surprise.
I'm down to 10 achievements left.
For now.
For now, until they release the new DLC next fucking month. They, so to catch us up to speed, I've been working through multiple of the new DLC packs. A few of the new DLC packs, one of them related to the Age of Empires 1 stuff being brought into Age of Empires 2, which I think is a trash idea. It never worked. They are just trying to shoehorn something in to keep Age 1 fans happy. I don't like it. There is like major campaigns, which are like 16 to 18 missions long, where the usual campaigns are like 6 missions. One of them focused on Alexander the Great. And that one was really unique in terms of different functions that they've done. Outside of that, I went back to the Victors and Vanquished DLC I complained about, I'll say about a year and a half, maybe a year ago now, which was a content creator-led one that ended up working with, is it Relic? There's like 4 different studios that work on the page. Worked with one of them to bring out this DLC pack where each of these missions, of 20 missions, were at least 2 hours long each.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
The longest one being 8 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Where you had to do no less than 100 different tasks.
I do remember this now, yes.
Yeah. So I've been slowly chipping away on that. I finally got them all done. They were very interesting and unique. The very last one I did was very like, it was just taking a transport ship and it was very bare bones compared to all the other interesting stuff. But I'm down to doing the rest of the Alexander the Great campaign. And then I have one achievement that will not unlock on PC, which is playing the Catans, which I'll have to boot up on console for because it works on console for whatever reason. And then I have to do the Naval Combat DLC, which is releasing next month. So they have done a massive rework, which has split docks into 2 buildings, docks and shipyards. Docks are treated as your fishing ships, your merchant ships, anything that is more on your economic side. And then your military side, which is your shipyards, which you've got trebuchet level ships now. Like they've really balanced all the naval combat out, which is surprising that it took them 25 years.
No one cares about boats, I guess.
The stuff that they've already brought out with it has been really solid. So I'm really interested to see what they actually do with naval. Because when I was growing up, the thing I absolutely hated was naval battles. This stuff, just before the podcast, I had to build a wonder in a particular area where the wonder had a unique mechanic where I could demand low, medium, or high tribute in terms of gold. And then I would have to defeat 2 factions on the map. If I demand high, there was very much a chance of all the other factions other than those 2 rebelling against me and also having to deal with them.
Right, I see.
I could resource manage, though. The gold is the only thing that's like really short on that map. That's why you got to demand using the wonder. But they don't start declaring on you until you build the wonder. So you can just resource manage up to like 10k, build it, have like 150 ships set up in their base.
And just wait.
And then just bam, all in one go. So yeah, I'm very close to getting it done. They'll probably go back to Age of Myth to get the latest title update done that you've already powered through.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'll get done and I'll just try and get the series. Don't think Age of Empires 3's brought out new DLC yet.
No, not yet.
But yeah, that is it's pretty much just been that watching the rest of Fallout, the TV series, and Shrinking is back on TV.
Oh,
I've had a very TV heavy week.
yeah, I realize I'm just watching like Apple TV shows now. Apparently, that's all I do. So thanks for.
I told you, have you watched Shrinking yet?
No, I haven't. I've been busy watching Pluribus, but I just finished watching Foundation, and I'm just watching fucking Apple shows. Yeah,
like they're really good. I got
Yeah.
really pissed off when they canceled the Big Door Prize.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna watch Apple TV shows, it's Ted Lasso, it's Pluribus, Severance.
Yeah.
Shrinking is really good, but some episodes will like just it is emotional highs and lows.
Sure.
But Harrison Ford is fucking funny, and I do think this is probably going to be his last role before he retires.
Yeah, right.
But
interesting.
I don't have a huge. Well, okay, I've been playing a lot, but not a lot of variety. A lot of small stuff. Well, a couple of things. So, first thing was I got the last few achievements for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I did the sort of DLC that's built in. Really, really enjoyed it. Great game. The DLC itself is kind of like it doesn't really add much to the game. It does have this kind of fun Fort Condor mini game that they added, which kind of representative of that mini game from the original. I think most of my enjoyment was watching Allison go through it, like watching, like backseating it and just kind of watching it, and kind of like pointing out the interesting stuff with the ghosts and the spirits and that sort of stuff and what all that means. And
yeah, that is one of the big things about that.
Because that's the kind of interesting thing for someone who was already very, very familiar with the original games.
Yeah, and it gets really interesting with the next game too. So.
Yeah, and a Rebirth kind of really kind of amps it up. So I'm really looking forward to picking that up in June. That'll probably be another day one for me. The other thing that I kind of talked about a little bit last week that I've been working on was one that Shane recommended, which was Eternal Strands, which is on Game Pass at the moment. He was concerned that it would be leaving. I was also slightly concerned, so I decided to start it as well on his recommendation. Turns out we're safe for now, but it's a really, really good game. Well, okay. It is definitely a AA game.
Yeah.
And I think it has some really, really good ideas. But I think the thing is that like if you're going to do an RPG, okay, I'll talk about the good, the bad. The idea is essentially that you are part of a caravan of people called Weavers, who are people who could use magic. Weavers used to have a big city called the Enclave. The city basically got closed up after some massive magical ecological disaster. Yeah, the Enclave, I know. And so they basically put up a big shield wall to block everyone from getting in, or potentially something getting out. We're not sure. But it essentially means that like it also killed a lot of people and caused a lot of issues and a lot of wars and like resource stuff. And so Weavers are not very well liked anymore. You basically, through happenstance and your caravan, end up on the other side of the veil, inside the wall, and where it hasn't been for like a generation. And so you're going around kind of trying to discover like what happened. Is anyone left? Like, what have they left behind? What was the tragedy? Is there a way to solve it? How did you get past the veil? All this sort of stuff. And as a concept, I like it quite a bit. The gameplay is basically you have a sword and shield, a bow, and then like a two-handed weapon that you can kind of swap between, as well as 3 different elements of magic. You have ice magic, fire magic, and then you have like force or gravity, so you can like throw things, like that sort of stuff, like kinetic. And so each of them has different variations, and you can power them up and stuff. And so the main thing is that there are regular enemies around the world, and you kind of explore and do like little missions. And then each level has a hunt, which is like a very large, like Monster Hunter-esque kind of style creature. It's kind of a split between like Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus, where you can go and farm them for materials because there's like a crafting system. But you can also kill them in a certain way that extracts their magic from them to power up your own magic. And so like each of them, as you fight them, you can read like the codex to try and figure out like what the trick is to revealing their weak spot to pull the magic out of them. So like I'll tell you the first one, for example, because the game basically tells you in the tutorial. But it's a big hulking golem guy with armor pieces on, and you can shoot the little like joints to make them drop off. And once his chest piece drops off, he has a big fucking thing on his chest. And you're like, oh, I wonder if the weak point is the big fucking glowing thing on his chest. But each of them have different kind of things that you kind of need to do to kind of get the magic from them. Where the constraints come in Oh, sorry. One other really good thing is that it's all very physicsy based, where it's like throwing things or using ice magic to make paths. You can climb on just about everything, like kind of like Breath of the Wild, where you have like a stamina meter. So it's very flexible and kind of like you can kind of mess around with the physics, and as you become more powerful with your magic, you can pick up bigger things and throw things and like do like fire walls and like melt things, or you can, if there's a bunch of fire around you, you can build like ice domes and sort of stuff. So there's a level of creativity of something like a Breath of the Wild where you can kind of physics it a little bit and fuck around with it. Where the issues come in, first of all, the story is pretty bare bones. It's like it starts off with a bit of an exploration piece, but because there's not really a lot of runway, they kind of speed through it quite quickly because there's actually only like 7 locations in the game and you revisit them constantly because every mission is basically, okay, I need to go back to one of those areas and do a fetch quest and look for a document in that area, and then come back and then get another fetch quest in one of the other areas that I've already been to, and just keep going back and forth ad nauseum for about 20 hours. So like the fights are good, the physics are good, the crafting system is okay. It has an interesting idea where you use the materials you find to craft stuff, but it's not just like you find a blueprint for a like ice sword and ice shield, and it's like, oh, okay, I can use any kind of, it's like, okay, I need some sort of mined material, some sort of metal, and I need some sort of fur. And you can use any level of fur as long as you have enough of it. So what you can do is go, well, I only have 2-star of each of those, so I'll make that now. But later on, when I have 5-star versions, I'll reforge it with the new materials to make a stronger version of it. So it's kind of an interesting idea of like, cool, you don't have a lot of variety in your weapons. You kind of get like one of each, but you can change the stats based on the kind of things you put into it. But you can always get the materials back. So it's very friendly to play with. But it also has an upgrade system where it's like, cool, you can reforge it or you can just level it up. And leveling it up just boosts the stats you already have on it. And it kind of feels like there's a couple too many systems in there to be like, well, you don't really need, you could have just done one or the other. Also, all the cutscenes, almost like 99% of the cutscenes are static, 2 visual novel style, 2 cutouts of a character, no mouth movements, just dialogue with some written text. And like that's usually okay, but there's not like any animation or anything like that. Like there's no in-engine, almost no in-engine cutscenes either. Or there's a couple of animated ones that are like in that sort of like a very basic like cutout style. They're okay. They're like animated okay, but you can definitely see the sort of budget stuff. Sorry, Cameron.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the devs talked at one point that the budget constraints that they just could not afford to do it.
Yeah, totally get it, right? Because like there's a reason why it costs Blizzard like millions of dollars to do those like 30-second animated story stuff. Even for like if you look at the like trailers for like Diablo and things like that, right? Like those cost so much time and money. I totally understand why they aren't in this game, right? But I just feel like there's not quite enough content to justify the amount of time that you spend in this game. Yeah. It's just like the side quests are almost identical to the main quests. The story is kind of just not quite... there's something really interesting there, but it's just not quite a good enough game to capture all of the ideas that they had, unfortunately.
To me, it's like one of those cases of... Was it just the budget issues getting the... like?
Yeah, almost certainly, yeah.
The devs that these games... Like the co-director and lead designer came from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Stuff like that. Like they had a pretty strong dev team, and from what I hear about the systems on this game, like the question I was going to ask is, outside of the cutscenes and all that, is the gameplay a level of Game of the Year material?
I don't know if yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. I mean the combat is maybe a little bit basic in terms of like your regular combat. The interesting parts are the like using the environment, using the magic and that kind of stuff. But it also is like, okay, I have an ice wall ability to make like an ice path or ice wall. And then I get like a one that, I don't know, like there's only like 3 abilities per element. So there's like 9 spells. And like most of the, like some of them are good. Some of them are kind of not that great or like very, very like specific use cases. So it feels like it has, again, more interesting ideas, but not enough scope. I know they put out like a free DLC. So like there's now a new area and a new type of creature and some new magic and that kind of stuff for free, like as a title update. No achievements for it, but so I didn't get a chance to check that out, but I hear that's quite good. So yeah, I definitely think that there's. I don't think it's like Game of the Year material. I think it's a little bit too double A for me to want to be like everyone should play this. This is a must play thing. Whereas like if the story was really really good and told in a really really good way, because again the dialogue is a little bit BioWare-y in terms of like it's a little bit like okay I'm not like it didn't keep my attention. The story didn't keep my attention enough for me to be able to tell you exactly, like lay out every step and every character motivation. Because by the end of it, I was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of not. It's not gelling with me in a way that's super grabbing me. But but it is good. Like it is a very good game, and I definitely recommend it. And I'd love to hear more people talk about it. And I think it's definitely been slept on a bit. It's one of those ones that I was put in my play later list that I'm glad I got back to.
No.
And then the last thing was my backlog commitment game, which was Shadows of War, which is the sequel to Shadows of Mordor, a Middle-earth game where you play as Talion, the half dead grave walker who's merged with the Smith of the Rings, Celebrimbor. And so it's the sequel to that, where that game ends on a big fucking cliffhanger. Which I won't spoil in case you haven't played it, but it basically picks up straight away afterwards, where you're doing the thing you planned on doing at the end of the game. It works, but it goes badly, and suddenly you're in a new set of problems that you have to solve. This is the definition of like, this is the Gears 2 to Gears 1 comparison of, they took the original game and just were like, we're just going to throw more at it. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to do like, instead of having 2 maps, you now have 5 that you go to. Instead of being like a 20-hour game, it's now a 40-hour game. I got it done in about 30, but the idea being that. You know that Nemesis system where you had like war chiefs? Now you have fortresses that have the war chiefs on them, and each of them have upgrades, and they have an overlord that looks over them now. And you have to basically build up your opposing army and storm the fortresses. And like, so you have to build up your own army and like think about like what weaknesses their enemies have, what defenses they have, trying to sabotage their defenses while also building up your war machines to try and break through their walls and try to, overpower them. And like the concept for the game is really, really cool because I love that idea of like, gathering your orcs, the Nemesis system, and making them fight each other. And the classic thing of like, well, they've got 4 war chiefs and the overlord, and I've actually gone and converted all 4 of the war chiefs. So when I stride up to the overlord, he's like, oh, I'm going to fucking kill you. And suddenly his entire army turns on him and just fucking rips him to shreds. And like, there's so much cool stuff in there. And then also if you're big into Lord of the Rings, like there's so much like lore stuff that they touch on. It's not technically canon, but like if you are big into the Silmarillion or you like the kind of extended universe of Lord of the Rings and like its history, because again, this takes place well before the War of the Rings, so before the movies. And they kind of find a way to kind of explain how the stuff is happening, but you've never heard of it before and that kind of stuff. So it's really, really cool. I liked it a lot. I definitely think that, let me put it this way, at the end of the game where it's like, there's like an Act 4 epilogue part before you get like the true ending. You have one of the forts. You have to, in the original, when the game originally came out, you had to do like 10 fort defense missions. Like 10 of them. There's only like 5 forts in the whole game. So you're just repeating these over and they're just constantly being attacked. You had to do 10 stages. Not necessarily, there could be as many as like 20 to 30 fort defenses. They've now, when they did the big update, pulled all the microtransactions out, they dropped it down to 5 fort defense missions. By the time I'd done the second one, I was done with the concept. Like that's the problem. The problem with the game is that it's a really cool idea. You're like, cool, I'm fucking pumped to either take on this fort or defend it from attackers. I'm going to set up my troops and I'm going to like kind of put the best generals in charge and give them the best things. But after that, it's like, okay, cool. Now do it again, and again, and again, and nothing changes each time. It's like sometimes they might change. Like sometimes they might have spikes on the wall. Sometimes they might have mines on the ground. But like the function is the same. It's basically like capture the point. Capture the next point, fight the boss, and that's it. And like it's just the biggest problem with this game is just the level of repetition and like the kind of lack of ideas that they had around that. And you definitely start to feel that, like getting into like, okay, I've done this a few times. Now that I don't have like a good story reason, especially to push me forward, or like interesting characters that I'm fighting with, or betrayals, or fights, or all that kind of stuff, and like it's kind of like, okay, I'm definitely feeling the fatigue, and I had to kind of push myself to get through it to the end. But I have finished the base game. I've got all the achievements, and so overall, really, really good experience. Glad that I'm finally got back to it. This is the game I was talking about with the load screens. Originally, when this game came out, it had like really long loads between areas, but now with the Series X, it's lightning fast. Like basically they had like a narrator talking to you about what you've been doing. I get half the narration before the next thing loads. It's so quick.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, like I was a bit hesitant because I heard that it was just kind of bigger Shadow of Mordor, and I was like, I kind of liked Shadow of Mordor being this thing that was really, really special and interesting. But I think this has most of the game as improvements. I think like the more types of orcs, more types of combat, more types of missions, more interesting story, more kind of lore developments and sort of like backstory stuff, and like I have some problems with some of the upgrades and some of the changes they've made have made the game maybe a little bit less fun, but maybe a bit more balanced. Because again, by the end of Shadow of Mordor, you had like an ability where you could do like a drop into a group of orcs, drop a fucking thing on the ground, and they would all convert to be on your side and just fucking swarm the enemy. And I was like, I want to do that, and they're like, no, you can't do that anymore because we realized that broke the whole fucking game. But yeah, I did like it a lot, and I'm really glad that this kind of like backlog thing has pushed me to go back into it. I'm now kind of weighing up what my next game should be. I do have the DLC to do, which is maybe there's 2 DLC packs, so I'll get to that eventually. But I'm thinking there's a One Piece game that I'm thinking about doing that I have in my backlog, One Piece World Seeker, that apparently is quite good, but not too heavy. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that next. But I'll pick something for Monday and start jumping on that, and I'll report back next week.
Thank you, Vampire.
Yep, so I'll report back next week. But
no decisions are final.
Yeah, exactly. I am really happy to be like cutting down my list a little bit. I probably will give myself another Game Pass game in there somewhere just to kind of so I have something to jump back and forth between. But the list, I'm getting through the list at a decent pace considering we're only in February. But we'll see how much I get through before the end of the year. Considering how much new shit keeps coming out.
I, however, am not getting through my list. The thing I am getting through are the crowns in Monster Hunter World.
Hell yes.
Nice.
Damn, there's so many. So the small and large crowns. I'm down to like 10 monsters, I think.
Oh, really?
And
wow, okay.
I need like 9 crowns or something. But these are the ones where they had events that they rolled into the game over time and they disappeared and they came back and all that kind of stuff. Eventually they put them all in and they just left them there.
Right.
And then you can go through, and so originally you had to hit the window where you could get special chances to get better percentage for the crowns and stuff. But I'm past the point where I've done those, and these last ones are basically RNG hell. So it is load a mission, or basically either load an investigation, which is a random chance depending on like silver and gold tokens basically that make up the difficulty of the mission, and that's all random based on you fight monsters, you get investigations, you go and you whatever these chances are pool in like a mission investigations list. But I think there's enough other events in the game that have probably a better chance just to get the rest of this stuff. So it's a matter of just loading the mission. Is it the right size monster? Big or small? No. Quit the mission.
Ugh.
Load the mission again. And just over and over and over again. So, and you could do this like 20, 30 times and maybe have one that's really close and then you fight it and then it's not the right size. It's just that little bit too small or a little bit too big. And then that's the shit that you have to deal with Monster Hunter World for a bit. But there's 2 really bad ones, and they were in the base game. Kieran, which is basically like an electric unicorn, and Devil Joe, which is just some, big blob. Fake T-Rex looking mess. But everything else apparently has better chances just based on the quests that you can do. So that'll be like really good to have that knocked out because I must be edging on like 800 hours or something now.
Jesus.
So
yeah, okay.
So and I made a few mistakes in the sense like loading the wrong quest that doesn't quite give you the big or the small.
Right.
and then just spending like a night trying to do and like doing the loading in and going, okay, it's getting really, really close, but apparently that quest doesn't quite get you there. And I'm like, ah, man, I've loaded different quests. Either that or just do the investigations and have like a random chance, but then you only get like a random amount of times, right? That you can do that. It'll either give you really good stats for like 5 gold bars or something, and then that's a high quality quest, but you might only have 3 chances to do it or something.
Yeah, so you don't want to
Instead of
risk it.
8
Yeah,
or whatever. So all of those factors are just way too random. So that's the thing that I'm really like hunkering down on, and I'm gonna have it done as soon as I can, and then I'll go back to everything else. But I have been dabbling a little bit, still going with blueprints.
Oh yeah, right, yep.
Still finding new stuff every single time I play, like honestly, and just new puzzles and way to solve things, and it's still really, really good.
How many notebooks you filled out yet?
Sorry?
How many notebooks you filled out?
Notebooks? Oh, no, I've been taking screenshots.
Yeah, that's
And honestly haven't had to do a whole lot of that. And if I've just gotten to a fuck off stupid like number puzzle where I have to actually work out like stupid number stuff, I'm just looking up the answer, honestly. There's one particular one where you get a there's an area outside where you can get like a random room outside, and that will also cycle between like 6 or 7 different rooms. And they're specific to the outside area in this one particular cave thing. And one of them is like a decrepit schoolhouse. But that gives you the chance to have like 8 other schoolhouses in your run up to. So random chance up to within. And so you actually need to fill out the house and have those rooms show up so that you get to level like a year 8 basically, like 8 rooms go up in levels of the years of the a school year, and then there's a final test at the end, and there's an achievement for doing the final test, which is questions laid out from clues of the other classrooms.
Jesus.
The answers are set, and you have to do it within a set period of time, and I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah, fuck that.
You're
That's
not
ridiculous.
catching me. No way. I'm not pen and notebook and pad. I'm not doing that. So I basically got the answers ready, and I'm like, all right, when I get this day where I have this chance and I have all rooms and I get that final classroom thing, I'm just doing this right here. So yeah, but I haven't actually had 8 classrooms in a playthrough yet. So
that is the thing that's been driving me away from this game, is that just like the level of
yeah.
RNG needed to do a lot of this stuff just doesn't sound
Yeah.
fun, unfortunately.
You get a lot of stuff out of it, though. You do get a lot of... once you get there with the puzzles, you get more allowance coins at the start of a day, more gems at the start of a day. So you have more opportunities to go and do different things in different rooms. And, you can craft a couple of devices here and there. And then you can put them in like a locker room, basically. You have like one thing locked away for a different run. And then when you know you've got a good run and you've got that room, you can go and you just use it for what you need to use it for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so which might be a tool specific that you need that for. I'm like, I'm never going to craft this thing again. I might as well just leave it there until I've got all the rooms unlocked that I'm using it for. So, but still, really, really solid. But yeah, I did a little bit of Clover Pit actually as well, which is interesting. I'm really only because it's one of these other RNG heavy games, right? Where it's like Ball X Pit, where you were saying you need like the few hours in, you have enough capacity with the RNG that you've built up enough that it kind of becomes viable. Yeah. So I'm still early in that one as well. So it's just like I'm only in the slow stages of building that up to make it where you're having good runs. So, but yeah, that's nearly it. I mean, really, we're at the end of our run for Sniper Elite 5 on authentic difficulty.
Nice.
We've got 2 missions left, and it's a lot easier than 4. So Sniper Elite 4, our strategy was basically one person stay at the start of the level, and they just go and they read news on the internet or whatever, and the other person just runs the level.
Tries
And
to
if that person
die
running
too
the
many
level,
times. Yeah.
yeah, that person running through the level, me, if they died, then you had to quit before you would completely down and like you go down and out. But if you died, then you'd have to restart the level again because it'd count as a death. But if you do it while you're down and out, you quit the game. It doesn't. It counts that you've disconnected, not that you've died.
Mm-hmm.
So you could load back into the game and just join them, and then it'd be where it is, and you just run off again and do it until you finish the level. So that's what I was doing in 4. And in this one, on the authentic difficulty, you've got save files, so you can actually save while you're doing it, and then it's basically a non-issue because you can both run through, and if you get a quiet point, you just go, "I'll save right here," and then you move on, basically.
Yep.
So that's been a lot quicker and a lot easier because I died a lot in 4. So
Me too.
And you make some stupid mistakes, right? There's a couple of issues where it's like, oh, I didn't realize you do this in this level, and then the level ends or something, and you haven't done something you had to do. So, but yeah, no, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been doing. So,
Yes.
All right.
yeah, so
Nice work, guys.
Yeah,
We also have the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition where I get hounded about not doing it last week.
yeah,
so-
totally. So it's
Yeah,
almost
what
like
the
you have to have a word challenge, like for like every time, right?
Yeah.
You got one job
I know.
among
Yeah.
many
I
other
mean,
jobs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
The amount of times that you've tried to kill the word challenge
Yep. And
violently.
everyone wants the word challenge. People just love it. So, I can't say no. If you don't know what the word challenge is, every month I come up with a game and I put it into our bot, and you have to go and guess what the game is by its full title in the word challenge channel on our Discord. I really wish I had a nice way of saying what our Discord is, but go and look it up. If you would like to join, we'd love to have some new members. So each week I give away a clue. The clues range from not very helpful to begin with to kind of basically giving you the answer if you're listening to the show live, which is why Legacy almost always gets it because the man is onto it. So I've got a new one for February now that we're on at the 6th. So this one is sequel. This game is a sequel. That's all you're getting to start with.
That's cute.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore because it's the first week, so I don't want people getting it too early. So start thinking about sequels. Think about sequels that I would think of as well. There's a little bit of psychology to go on there. So get your best guesses in, and hopefully the gift works this time, but we'll see. It's never sure. Leaderboards. Cameron, do you want to do that?
Yeah. So in third place we have Northern Lass at 15,473. In second place we have Fresh Forever at 60,955. And number one we've got a Grey Shark at 68,855.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it.
We might need to do a ratio leaderboard or something.
Yeah, but wow, yeah, that's ratio doesn't change that much that week, does it? Well, I guess you can see what you're unlocking.
Or TA
TA difference or something, maybe. Yeah. All right. Do you also want to do completions, Cameron?
Yep. So in terms of completions, we had Bulbasaur with the we were here.
We're here.
We were here.
We were
series.
here.
Someone got that wrong. We were here. And Bridge Constructor Portal. Shane did Marlow Briggs and the Mask of Death, Indica, and Dimensions. Moonzom did the AC3 remasters. Superbub did D-Seek 2, and Rapture did 2XKO and Indica.
Yeah, I'm
Good job.
looking forward to having Shane back on to talk about Indica because that's one of those games that a game that I was surprised got made. It was very interesting, like a very weird, strange game that. Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember you talking about it.
Yeah, now that's on Game
Yeah.
Pass, I think it's one that everyone should just give a go because it's relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. So come say hi, hang out, usual business. Join our Discord. Discord's the best place for us to see what's going on and chat with our fellow listeners and viewers. I also put the show up on YouTube. Char does a wonderful thumbnail, so big thank you to Char. If you want to see our beautiful faces, if you're an audio-only listener or you happen to miss the VOD on Twitch. Anything you guys want to shill?
I'm good. I'm good for now.
Let's
just play some video games.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Play Age of Empires 2.
No, okay, well, moving on. We'll just edit that out. Well, I think that's been episode 200. A huge thank you to my wonderful co-host, the wonderful patrons, and our fantastic listeners and watchers. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Peace.
Catches.